When your section descriptions are completed, you can export them as diagrams in a variety of formats, most commonly PDF. To begin exporting diagrams, go to the File menu, down to Export, and choose Diagram, and it will open the Export Diagram dialog. First, select the section or sections to export diagrams for. The Each Section option will export one diagram for each of the sections in your project. Each section is listed below, so if you chose one of those, it would just export a diagram for that single section. And then in between, you could use the Select Sections option and choose some subset of sections to export. So I could just export these 3 or these 4 or whatever it is. Click OK, and you'll export those selected sections. For now, I'm just going to choose a single section here. For range, using the All default is recommended. This will fit the contents of each section into a single page. But if you prefer, you can export a portion of the selected sections. So for example, I could export from 20 to 50 of this section, or if I had multiple sections selected, it would be for each of those. It would only export that portion of each section. Note that for this option to work, the per page option must be blank. And then the third option is per page. So for example, this section I believe is 163 centimeters long or thereabouts. So if I chose 85 centimeters per page, this section would be exported as 2 pages, a 2-page diagram. The first from 0 to 85, and the other from 85 to 170. But for this demo, we'll stick with the All option. The next choice is Page Format, which offers a variety of standard formats. Each format lists its width and height in pixels. The default letter 144 dpi is a good default for most projects that use the standard PSICAT columns. But you have a variety of choices here in standard formats. And if none of those are suitable for you, you could also define a custom format in width and height of pixels that is suitable for your project. We'll just use the standard here. Draw options will show or hide the described features. When you export, you will not define a file name for the exported diagram. Instead, you'll choose a directory into which one or more diagrams will be exported. So that's it's important to know at least where your exports are going to go. I'm going to choose my exported diagrams folder that I created for this purpose. Each exported diagram will be named based on the section it came from. If you want to add a prefix to that, for example, we could add version 1 or something like that. That would be at the beginning of each of the exported diagrams file names. You could do that here. I'm not going to do that right now. And then you have a choice of export formats. Again, PDF is the most common, but you have other choices if you want them. So with all these options set, I am now going to export a single diagram for this section. By clicking the Export button, there we go, export is complete. And now if I look in my exported diagrams folder, there it is. If I open it up, before wrapping up, I just want to demonstrate a couple of the other export styles. We'll go back to this section. If I were to export just a range of this section, for example, from 20 to 50, if I export that, just to show you what it looks like. Zoom out a bit here so you can see, oops, hard to see. You can see that it starts at 20 and ends at 50, so it's just that portion of this section. You could also, if we do a per page export for that section, if I do 85 centimeters per page, I should end up with a 2-page PDF. So you can see this first page starts at 0 and runs to about 85, and then from 85 to 170, which is below the bottom of my section. So that's what the per page option gets you. And then the most common workflow by far is to just choose each section and export one diagram for each of the sections in your project. If you do that, you'll see it export all 6 sections in my project, and now I have 6 files here. I'll just show you the first one. So this again is just going to fill the entire page with the contents of my section. And I should also point out that you can see the exported PDF diagram is very, very similar to the live editable diagram in PSICAT. Same columns, they're in the same order, they're the same relative widths. Any changes you make in the diagram options dialog will obviously affect live PSICAT diagrams. It will also affect outputted PDF exports or any of the other formats. So these are generally going to be the same. So that's about it for exporting diagrams. Don't be afraid to experiment with the options. You can always change them and export again if you're not happy with the results.